So in between federal indictments, Donald Trump made his way to New Hampshire, and he gave a deranged, meandering, incoherent speech, and there was a lot to unpack there. But one point in particular is Donald Trump, of all people, pearl-clutching about the idea of a sitting president weaponizing the Department of Justice and trying to sic an attorney general on a political opponent. This is Donald Trump. And I want to address this because Donald Trump apparently is suffering from, acute short-term memory loss, because Donald Trump in 2023 has a very different position on this matter than Donald Trump in 2020. So we're going to play some clips. But before we unpack all that, if you haven't yet, please hit that like, subscribe, and the alert bell. Maybe check out my Patreon. I'd appreciate the support. So somebody on Twitter was kind enough, and I think they took clips from like ACYN, the great account, Aaron Rupar, another great account, and spliced these two clips together. It's hilarious and it's very telling. So I want you to hear. We're actually going to go in reverse order, folks. I want to start with what Donald Trump is complaining about in 2023, and then we're going to go back in time using our time machine powers, Doctor Strange time stone. Let's start with Donald Trump in 2023, what he has to say about the weaponization of the Department of Justice by a sitting president and the Attorney General.
But is this going to be the future of elections in America, where a sitting president tells his attorney general to indict the opponent, to try and knock the opponent down? This is what's happening.
That's Donald Trump complaining. Listen, is this the future of this country? This is unbelievable. Well, number one, if we accept the premise at face value, which of course you never should with Donald Trump or MAGA in general, they do not deserve the benefit of the doubt, and you shouldn't feel compelled to grant it to them. But even if we were so inclined, actually, no, Donald, that's not the future of elections. That's the past, as we're about to demonstrate. But of course, we don't have to give him the benefit of the doubt, because of course he's lying about the situation. Jack Smith is the special counsel, the special prosecutor. He is insulated not only from Attorney General Garland, but Attorney General Garland is in turn insulated somewhat from President Biden. So Jack Smith is the one who brought the indictments because of a grand jury. Two grand juries in these federal cases recommended charges against Donald Trump. So American citizens, seeing the evidence against Donald Trump in two separate occasions, made the decision, like, yeah, you should probably charge this guy. So it was a grand jury brought by Jack Smith, a special counsel, who is insulated from Attorney General Merrick Garland, who is somewhat himself insulated from President Biden. There's no evidence whatsoever that President Biden or Attorney General Garland ordered Jack Smith to do anything with respect to Donald Trump. There's no evidence whatsoever. But now I want to turn again the time back, right? This is Trump, Donald Trump, who was then the sitting president in 2020, an election year. Let's hear what he has to say about the weaponization of a Justice Department by a sitting president and the Attorney General.
Unless Bill Barr indicts these people for crimes, the greatest political crime in the history of our country, then we're going to get little satisfaction unless I win, and we'll just have to go, because I won't forget it. But these people should be indicted. This was the greatest political crime in the history of our country, and that includes Obama, and it includes Biden.
It's a lot to unpack there, folks. As a reminder, that was Donald Trump publicly on Fox News talking to Maria Bartiromo, saying that Bill Barr, who was the sitting attorney general at the time, should indict Donald Trump's political enemies, including former President Barack Obama and his primary candidate at the time, or primary opponent at the time, Joe Biden. So that checks off all the boxes. Donald Trump was a sitting president, publicly calling on the sitting attorney general, Bill Barr, to indict a former president, Barack Obama, and a guy running against Donald Trump for the presidency in 2020, Joe Biden. Donald Trump did that. And here's the other thing. I remember hearing this at the time. When I saw this clip, I'm like, oh my God, I remember that. The thing about Donald Trump and his crimes and his breaches of decorum and his general corruption, as well as that of MAGA in general, it's sensory overload. You would need an AI or like a dedicated team to constantly track and catalog this stuff, because even quick recall for people who are politically, literate, people who are like inundated in politics, as I am and as I imagine a lot of you are, it's hard to remember this stuff, even egregious crap like this. Donald Trump is factually guilty of the things he's saying Joe Biden is doing and Merrick Garland is doing that he's lying about. They're actually not doing it. He's lying about it. But But he actually, and we have a record of him using his, mouth hole to say words, doing the thing that he's complaining about. It is hypocrisy of the highest order. And anytime, if you're watching, and maybe you're sympathetic to Trump or conservative, this is damning proof. Donald Trump is objectively worse than Joe Biden, and there's nothing you can do about it. By Trump's own standards, he is a worse person than Joe Biden. And if you're watching this and you're like me, you don't like Donald Trump, but maybe you engage with people who are conservative and have their questions about the indictments, play this clip, play this video right here, point this out. Like, no, don't let them escape from this. Like, listen, you want to complain about the weaponization of the Justice Department, issuing orders to a sitting attorney general to, indict your political opponents? Number one, you need to prove that Joe Biden did it, number one. And number two, we have proof that Donald Trump tried to do it. So no matter what, your guy is worse. Rub it in their faces, point that out to them, and don't let them back away.